What's up, y'all? It is your girl, Sarah from Sarah Styles here, where data empowers true potential and I show you the power of your numbers. In today's video, I am going to talk about purchasing a liquidation pallet and if it's worth it for your reselling business. I'm going to dive into my data and show you my numbers on if it's worth it, how much money I actually make selling liquidation pallets, and if I'm going to buy another one. So stay tuned. What's up, y'all? Thanks so much for joining. I am a reseller on Poshmark and on eBay, and I dabble in various other sites, but mainly Poshmark and eBay. I'm also a mom of 3, so I am remote learning 3 children right now while reselling, while social media, while also having dashboards available for the resellers. I have a degree in mathematics, and I really like to look at the data to help drive your business decisions. This channel is dedicated to teaching you how to look at your data, how to look at your numbers to figure out what is working for you to meet your true potential. And I know that it's not everyone's skill set to build spreadsheets and to make charts and graphs and even know what really to look at. So I do have 3 dashboards for sale. www.sarahstylesllc.com, where you just put in your data and all of the graphs and charts populate. In today's video, I'm going to be looking at the sales and trends dashboard. So that is the one, and you can put in up to 20 different platforms that you sell on. So you can look at all of your data on all platforms that you sell on. And I'm going to be looking at a pallet. So I have purchased 2 liquidation pallets. And I purchased my first one about 2 months ago. So I have about a month and a half worth of data, which is kind of on the lower end of how much data you should really be looking at. Because I am making roughly 200 sales a month, I'm okay looking at a month's worth of data. If you have less sales than that, you really want to be closer to like 3 or 6 months of data before you are really looking at making decisions based off of it and finding trends. I'm looking at it today because I've purchased 2 and I want to know, is it worth it? Should I purchase another one, or do I need to reassess my business and figure out what's worth it? So let's dig right in. Like I said, what we're going to be looking at, this is going to be the Sarah Styles Sales and Trends Dashboard. The main video on my site, on my YouTube channel, is going through the 3 different dashboards. This one is for all platforms. You have to manage your own data. It comes with a spreadsheet where, you just have all these fields that you have to fill out. So when I purchase something, I put it in here, and when something sells, I update, the day that it sold, what platform it sold on. It takes me, a couple seconds once I've gotten into the habit of it. But because this is for all platforms, you do need to manage your own data. But then you have all of these beautiful charts and ways to decide what is working for you. So like I said, we're looking at a pallet. I have purchased 2 pallets. One was Free People and all new with tags, store stock pallets. New Free People, new with tags, Free People and a little bit of Lucky, new with tags. And then the second one was activewear, so like Nike, Columbia, the North Face, stuff like that. That has only been listed for a week, and I mean, this behind me is still all that palette. So the majority of what I'm going to be speaking to and looking at is going to be the Free People palette. It was about, I'd say 90% was Free People, new attacks, sweater, fall, winter stuff. So let's dig into it. This is, if you haven't seen this before, this is performance. It compares. I do want to touch on this because this is one of my favorite things on this dashboard, and then we'll get into the data. This is the simulator. You can say, hey, and this is what I'm going to base a lot of my decisions based off of. Hey, I want to make $6,000 a month. What do I need to do? It breaks down the numbers based off of my data, based off of my sell-through rates, how many active listings I have, what I'm normally selling at, and tells me, hey, if I want to make that amount of money, I need to sell 166 items at $36 an average sale price. And my active seller, I need to have 1,800 active listings. And then there's very different scenarios. So this really does guide me when I decide where I want to source, what is performing well. If I'm shooting for an average sale price, this is telling me I need to be around $36, right? I want the stuff that I'm sourcing, the stuff that's selling, to be around $36. If it's not, it needs to be selling through. So I need to be selling more of it than my average sell-through rate, which right now I'm at about 17% for a month period, right? So that's going to guide me when I'm looking at this. Is it selling better than $36 average sale price, or is it selling through more than 17%? Real quick, for those that are new to the channel, sell-through rate is going to be how many items you are selling out of how many items that you have for the time period that you're looking at. So this right here, the performance is looking at a 28-day comparison. My sell-through rate for the past 28 days, I've sold 17% of the inventory that I have on hand for that 28-day time period. If I had 100 items, I've sold 17 of them. And then up here, you know, sell-through rate for my month, 50% of the inventory I've purchased is selling. So if it's higher than the 17% or $36, then that is something that is going to be like, okay, that is performing better than my average. It's performing well for me. So you can scroll down here. Let me move this so you guys can see. You don't need to see my face. Let's look at the data. So let's go ahead and look at sourcing. These are all of the sourcing spots that I've got. Things have really changed this year for me. If we looked a year ago, I would have only had thrift store and bins. I never would have even considered a pallet. Like, it wasn't even my radar. But with everything that's going on, I am remote learning. I have kids at home. I can't make it to thrift stores. Even when I go to thrift stores, they're not as stocked as they used to be because they don't have as many people that can work. Prices are going up. So I really have to adjust my business based off of it. That being said, I have tried all of these different places, and today I'm going to be looking at a pallet, but if you want to see me consider all of these, some of these other ones, and other ways that I am making decisions for my business, do make sure to subscribe and watch some of my other videos. So for today, let's look at the pallet. So what we're looking at over here, this is year over year. It's relevant for the thrift store and the bins because that's what I was doing last year. For this year, I don't have any of these other places, right? So I have no year over year comparison, but it's good to see what's happening for the thrift store. Something I will note just really quickly is the average sale price is going down. $1 down. I've mentioned this in some of my other videos. I'm definitely seeing a decline in average sale price, trying to work a little bit more on sell-through rate. So you saw on the simulator, average sale price, I'd like $36. That would be nice. However, I am more focused on things that are going to be selling through quicker than the 17%. I'm noticing in the economy, in all of my trends, in market trends, everything that's been going on, that people are buying, but they're spending less. And that totally makes sense because it's a pandemic. Record unemployment, people are holding on to their money a little bit more or don't have money because they don't have a job. So I'm focused a little bit more on sell-through rate than I am average sale price. And if you're new to this channel, I have a course coming out, or it's already out, depending on when I get this video up, about why I look at these numbers and how kind of the basis theory about this, a fundamentals course, and then I'll be doing other courses as well. But it's basically a golden rule for resellers that I use, a golden formula. You have how many items you sold and how many of them you sold. So if you sold two items and they sold for $10, you made $20, right? That is the golden formula that I use for everything. So you have your sell-through rate, how many items you're selling, and then you have your average sale price, how much they're selling for. Those are the two variables that are going to move how much money that you make. In theory, you want them both to go up, and then everything goes up, and we make all the money in the world. In practice, it does not always work that way. So if I'm going to pick one variable, I am currently working on my sell-through rate. Average sale price is down. People are spending less money. That means I want to be increasing my sell-through rate to not only make up for people spending less money, but also to increase my gross revenue. That makes sense. Drop notes down below if you have more questions. Definitely make sure to check out that fundamental course where I go really in depth into this so you can really understand it. So let's look at the pallet. What is my average sale price for the pallet? $25. That is $11 less than that average sale price that I need to make to hit my monthly goals. However, my sell-through rate is 40%. That is double what my monthly is, right? So that 17% over here, 39% is, double or more of that. So things are selling through. They are selling through less than some of my other places. So it seems like online sourcing, I'm making on average $48. Garage sales, I'm making on average $45. Consignment, $61. But a lot of these places, online sourcing, garage sale, consignment, consignment's done. I was doing something with my brother-in-law, so that's not an option anymore. Garage sales are very time consuming and they're very hit or miss. So I can go to 5 garage sales all day and only get 2 items. So not really worth it for me right now. Also, it's October, so there's not a lot of garage sales. Online sourcing as well, it can be very time consuming. I don't have a ton of online sourcing. Time because you have to do it one by one, right? However, if you don't need a lot of inventory and you look at your numbers, but I mean, a 61% sell-through rate for what I am purchasing online is working out well for me. A pallet, I'm getting a lot of inventory. It's 300, 500 items at a time. And that is going to make a factor for me because time is important to me. Time is money. I don't have a lot of it. I have 3 kids at home. I can buy 300 items and then not have to source for a month and a half, right? So that is also playing factor. So as of right now, the pallet, I'm selling through 39%. However, my average sale price is down. And then I just do quickly want to look at the brands. So 2 of the main brands in the pallets, one was all Free People. So I'm going to look at how Free People is performing. And then the other one, the active brand, is going to be like Nike, Adidas, activewear brands. I want to see how those are performing as well. So you can see Free People is right here, a 52% sell through. So my Free People is selling through very well. And the average sale price for it is $39. Hello, significantly better than my sell through rate. $49 for Free People is significantly better than my average sale price. So Free People is sounding like that palette was a good buy for me. I'm selling through at a higher percentage than my average, and my average sale price for Free People is above. The thing to consider though is going to be my cost of goods. My cost of goods is going to be much higher for Free People or for the palette than it was at the thrift store. And then the other thing I want to look at is Nike. So here's Nike. And so if you have this chart, you can just click on it and it'll bring it up. If you're new to the channel, we're looking at sell-through rate versus my average sale price. So the higher up in this range means I have a higher sell-through rate. Further out this way means I have higher average sale price. This up here is my BOLO brands. It means that it's selling through high and it has a high average sale price. Coach is up there. I love me some Coach. And this is a very valid point why it's so important to look at your data. You get on social media and people will tell you not to buy Coach. I sell it at $60 an average sale price, and 80% of my Coach for the year has sold for $60. I'm going to buy me some Coach. Like, real talk, I'm going to buy me Coach and not pay attention to social media. And I'm sure every single person that has a dashboard is like, social media tells me not to buy this, and it totally performs really well for me. Michael Kors is up there, Kate Spade. Those are all purses. Dooney and Burke. Purses perform really well for me. Uggs, no surprise there. But let's look at Nike now. So Nike, $28 average sale price. Okay, so that's a little bit below my simulator. However, the sell-through rate is 71%. I will take a few dollars off of my average sale price if I'm selling 71% of it. My sell-through rate is incredible. So moral of this story, moral of this story, am I going to buy another pallet? The answer is going to be yes. Is this going to work for everybody? The answer is no. The only way that you're going to know how it is performing is by looking at your numbers. Those are the things that I am looking at, that I am considering when I am buying a pallet. One more thing that I do want to note on, because I'm just looking at numbers here, I want to talk a little bit about the practicality of buying a pallet. It is not, for me, the time it takes to purchase a pallet is not less time than it takes for thrifting for me. The reason that I like it better, it's actually a little bit more time consuming for me. However, I can do it all at home with my children. I do auction, so I can auction on an item while they're having lunch. I can go, the last pallet that I got, it got delivered in the middle of the day. The kids, we packed things up from the garage and we brought it in. It took us a half a day to get the items, 350 items out of my garage and just brought into my studio. That's it. It took a half a day. And then from there, I had to organize them, hang them. Depending on where you order from, some of them will still have security tags on them. So then you have to take the security tags off. Some of them will still have clearance tags, like clearance tags, like sticky tags on them. And so you have to spend time taking them off. And so that's another couple hours for me to do that. So it's not less time consuming, but I can do that while my kids are doing some schoolwork or while, they're playing nicely. I can't go out and thrift. So to me, that is a huge factor in it as well. But I do want to be very transparent that it is not less time consuming. It's actually been a little bit more time consuming for me than thrifting. I'm very good at thrifting. I'm in Colorado. We have a lot of great sourcing spots available. So I can usually knock out 100 items in a couple hours thrifting. So it is a bit more time consuming than that. However, I don't have to go out to thrift stores. The time that I have now, it's 8 o'clock at night. The kids are in bed. I can come down and do this, and I can't go to a thrift store. So will I be purchasing another pallet? The answer is yes. I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts if you have purchased a pallet, what your thoughts are on it, what you liked, what you disliked. If you're thinking about purchasing a pallet, do feel free to ask me any questions. I don't reveal sourcing spots because this is my business, so I'm not going to say where I purchase my items from, but any other questions here to help as well. And I hope you guys all have a wonderful day. Do make sure to hit that like button, share this if you think it is, for other people that you think would like it. Make sure to save it to come back for when you do have a pallet, you do purchase a pallet, or you want to see how I decide on what sourcing spots are working for me. So have a good day.